What's going on, guys? Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com bringing you a comparison video today between the now old Nike Tiempo Legend 6 and the brand new Nike Tiempo Legend 7. We're going to compare the two directly in this video and answer all of the hard-hitting questions, such as, is the Legend 7 that much better than the Legend 6? Is it worth the extra money considering that the Legend 6 is now on sale? Should you buy the Legend 6 on sale, or should you buy the first takedown model in the new Tiempo line, the Legacy 3, which is also very good, by the way? Should you... I don't have any more. Anyways, it's the ultimate showdown, especially if you regularly watch my channel. My favorite for the last 2 years, and my new favorite, the Legend 7. Probably weren't expecting to hear that at the start of the video. Leave a like for that one. Anyways, let's get right into it. The uppers on these two shoes are quite similar, at least the part that matters. Both kangaroo leather. As far as which one is better quality, it really is a matter of splitting hairs in my opinion. The Legend 6 is great quality with the leather that it has, and of course it's backed by the internal skeleton support frame, whereas the Legend 7, if I had to make a pick on which one feels a little bit better to me, the Legend 7 feels that little bit softer, but again, the difference is extremely minimal, especially once the shoes are broken in. But the internal skeleton support frame is thicker and more significant overall. You see it a lot more on the surface of the leather, although you don't necessarily feel it that much when the shoes are actually on your feet, which is the case with both of these models. Both very effective in terms of stabilizing the leather upper without the need for stitching, although you do have less stitching on the Legend 7 versus what you'll find on the Legend 6, where there is stitching across the middle of the forefoot. So given that the leather uppers on these two shoes are fairly similar, what exactly has changed? What's better, what's worse? You have a one-piece construction on the Legend 6 where the middle part is filled in with a memory foam filled tongue, which feels quite good. I like the one-piece design, and because of this design, you do have a dual lace hole system, which is very effective in terms of not loosening up when you're actually playing in the shoe, something that you don't have on the Legend 7, which uses a more traditional single lace hole system. Laces still run through the middle though on both shoes, as you can see. But that's pretty much it in terms of your secure elements. That's going to add responsiveness to the upper. The one-piece construction and the internal support frame. With the Legend 7, you have Flyknit running through the middle, which technically does create a one-piece enclosure, but it's highly elasticated Flyknit, which allows you to get the shoes on and off much easier than what you'll find with the Legend 6, which is something that I immediately noticed and immediately preferred over the older model. So that to me is a really good thing, just for the sake of convenience. You also find the addition of flywire cables in the top 3 lacing positions on the Legend 7, which really do their part in terms of securing the midfoot and locking your heel down into the back of the shoe, which again, something I really like and is a nice improvement over the Legend 6. You also find that internally, you can't really see it, but you do feel it. There is a fit mesh lining material, basically designed after a Chinese finger trap, that really does a good job of adding structure and general, I guess, responsiveness to the forefoot and toe box area. So in that area of the shoe, again, the Legend 7 does feel more responsive and more locked in, but without taking away from the softness and flexibility of the upper. The parts that aren't leather have changed quite a bit as well. On the Legend 7, you'll find that there's some synthetic leather on the lateral side where you have the Nike swoosh, and you also have this mesh-based synthetic that's actually a firmer material in the heel area where you have the internal plastic heel counter. So not something that really is all that noticeable. And then on the Legend 7, they of course incorporated Flyknit, which you don't really feel when you're actually wearing the shoes. This has nothing to compare to the Magista Obra, the Superfly, the Hypervenom Phantom 3. It just is Flyknit for the sake of being Flyknit, so that's not something that's all that noticeable. So in regards to improvements with the secondary synthetic material they've incorporated, I wouldn't really say that there is any. Here's a rundown of fairly insignificant but also kind of important tech specs that you'll find on both shoes. ACC all conditions control, your wet control element. In my opinion, not a big deal at all. Both the shoes are low cut, as you guys can see. Pretty standard for the Tiempo line, feels the same in that regard. You're gonna find that the heel liner is a synthetic leather on the Legend 6 and a synthetic suede on the Legend 7, but the Legend 7 liner has these extra padded bumps running down the side, which I actually do prefer, but I really didn't have any issues with this heel liner either. The insoles are removable on both shoes, and the insoles themselves are exactly the same as well. Sole plates and stud patterns have also seen a little bit of an evolution from 6 to 7. If we're talking about the sole plate specifically, the Legend 6 sole plate does not have a name, while the Legend 7 sole plate is called Hyperstability. So if we're counting names, 1-0 to the Legend 7. As far as how the sole plates actually feel, there's not a big difference between the two if I'm being completely honest. The new hyperstability sole plate on the Legend 7 is a little bit thicker, it's a little bit firmer in general, and I think just feels that bit more solid than what you get on the Legend 6, which admittedly is a thinner, softer feeling sole plate. This new one on the 7 reminds me a lot of the Phantom 3 sole plate, which is a very good thing. I do prefer it over the Legend 6, but I don't think that it's a major difference in terms of the experience that they have on offer. As far as stud patterns go, again, the same general layout applies, and you can see that very clearly when the two are side by side, bladed studs in the heel, conical studs in the forefoot, but instead on the Legend 7, basically what they decided to do is add a little bit of aggression. So you have the bladed studs at the tip of the toe, and you have the chevron style studs at the base of the heel. The ones in the heel are not quite as noticeable, but the ones at the tip of the toe are very noticeable when you're accelerating for a quick sprint and you're just running on your toes in general. You get that much more bite, that much more aggression in terms of the grip under your feet. So again, in terms of just outright performance, I do think that the Legend 7 is more aggressive, and for that reason I do prefer it. But that's not to say that it's necessarily better than what you get on the Legend 6. It's just something a little bit different. In terms of weight, there's a big difference between these two. You go from about 9 ounces in a size 9.5 US in the Legend 6 to about 7 ounces in the same size in the Legend 7. So a 2-ounce weight difference, with the Legend 7 being significantly lighter both in hand as well as on feet, and it's something you'll immediately notice as a difference if you've been wearing the Legend 6 for a long time. In terms of fit, there's not a huge difference between the two. I'm gonna say that the major difference has to do with the shape, which has been tweaked ever so slightly, where the Legend 7 does feel that little bit wider in general. The toe box also seems to be a little bit more rounded, which I personally prefer out of the box. I find these to be more comfortable from the get-go than what you'll find from the Legend 6, but that's not to take away anything from the shoe. Once they're both broken in, the comfort is excellent. I also do prefer the way that the elasticated Flyknit tongue feels on the Legend 7 versus what you get with the Legend 6. The reason being is that the elasticated Flyknit tongue, because it's elasticated, it basically just compresses to the exact shape of the top of your foot and gives you a little bit of a closer feel between the upper and your foot, something that you don't necessarily get as well with the memory foam tongue on the Legend 6. As far as width is concerned though, they're both gonna be suitable for most people, although I would say that the Legend 7 is a little bit wider. And as far as sizing is concerned, they both run about a half size small. That has not changed from the previous generation. Thus concludes this comparison video between the Legend 6 and the Legend 7. They are both excellent shoes. I would be happy to wear either one of them, but if you're asking which one I like better, it's definitely the Legend 7. It's the logical evolution to what we got introduced on the Legend 6. There's a reason why I really like this shoe, but with the Legend 7, they did all the same things plus a little bit more and made all those pre-existing things a little bit better. So it shouldn't be too much of a surprise that I do prefer this, and it is now my new personal favorite boot overall. Should you buy a Legend 6 if you're on a bit of a budget? If you can get it for half the price of a Legend 7, by all means. It's still a very capable boot. Should you buy a Legend 6 over the new Tiempo Legacy 3 takedown model, which features the same kangaroo leather upper, minus certain elements that you'll get on the high-end Legend 7, that's a tough call because the Legacy 3 is a very solid shoe. Honestly, I'd be happy to wear the Legacies or the Legend 5 if you're asking me, but I think if I had to make a choice as of right now, given the way that this upper fits and feels and the internal support frame and the flywire cables that you do also get on the Legacy, I probably would pick the Legacy over the Legend 6 in all honesty. But again, it's a matter of personal preference. There really is no wrong choice there. If you'd like any more information on either of these two shoes, there'll be some end screen annotations with videos that I have on the Legend 6 and 7, so be sure to check those out. If you're interested in either of these two boots, I'll leave links in the description to the review pages on my website, where on those review pages you will find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick up both of these two shoes below their normal retail price, so be sure to go ahead and check that out. If you have any questions for me, as always, leave them down below in the comments. I'll do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. Other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.